Pokemon has changed a lot over the years. From the competitive scene to casual play, each generation transforms the game and its world as lore expands, combat evolves, and new Pokemon are added. But if we travel back in time and recall Gen 4, one mod in particular comes to mind. One that made sure that things would never be the same again. Cherubi. Cherubi was the first food Pokemon, and the only one of its kind in its debut generation. Before Cherubi, no Pokemon was immediately edible. I mean, maybe with a frying pan and a lack of morality you could scramble the sentient egg swarm, but before Cherubi, there was no other Pokemon you could just pick up and eat as is. From that gen onwards, the menu only expanded. Villanux, Swirlpuff, Bonesweet. Before we knew it, we had enough for a team of 6 that could turn a Pokemon trainer into a glorified food cart. But Game Freak didn't stop there. Gen 8 alone brought us more food Pokemon than we could have ever prepared for. Alcremie, Sinistea, Applin, but more than that, it gave us the power to cook. And whether or not you considered the ramifications of eating Pokemon before, Gen 8 blew the door open on conspiracies new and old. I'm sure we all remembered the drama in Heart Gold and Soul Silver when Team Rocket was chopping the tails off of Slowpokes for human consumption, and here we are, a few generations later, buying them from inconspicuous merchants that never stay in one place. And sure, since then, it's often framed as if it's no big deal, and the Slowpokes feel no pain and their tails regenerate, but now we're talking about eating the parts of Pokemon, and even feeding them to other Pokemon, which makes your mind go back to mons like Tropius with edible parts, or mons like Farfetch'd and Magikarp that have just been revealed to be consumed outright, either by people or other Pokemon, which brings you to a mon like Chansey. And don't even get me started on Chansey. Known for producing eggs that are delicious and that it feeds to other Pokemon and people, not to mention consuming it itself. Do you realize how fucked that is? A creature that produces, cooks, and consumes its own offspring or ovulation, which first of all, how the fuck is it cooking these eggs? Every time we see one, it's got an egg in the pouch, and we know it eats some soft-boiled, and I don't see any boiling water in there, which means that this Pokemon is walking around with a stomach that can break 300 plus degrees on a whim to instantly soft-boil the egg that it itself has shit out instantaneously. No wonder this bastard knew Fire Blast since Gen 1, it's a walking air fryer. So, now, across of all of Pokemon history, we have people and Pokemon eating Pokemon, people and Pokemon cooking Pokemon and then feeding other Pokemon. We have humans and Pokemon picking and choosing to eat and drink from certain Pokemon arbitrarily. And mind you, these little creatures often have pretty solid IQ, so if at some point in the process, instead of grilling a Tauros, you go and roast a Xatu, congratulations. You've now maimed a precognitive condor in pursuit of spiritual enlightenment. Good job. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, within the first few trailers, had already given us a whopping 3 food or food adjacent Pokemon. Smoliv, Fido, and Lechonk. This is literally a pork sandwich in the making. Do you see where I'm going with all this? The lines were always blurry, and bit by bit, little by little, Game Freak has taken us from Pokemon that might be eaten to outright edible Pokemon to personally tailoring a platter of mons with compatible flavor profiles. You can make fucking sandwiches. And since we're already eating some of these intelligent, emotional, sentient creatures, why not eat all of them? Granbull, Wailord, Groudon, Delmise, Palossand, eat your rival. Since when was sentience a barrier to good eats? Eat the Poke Center, the town, Pokemon region, it's a regional dish. Eat the Poke Planet, eat the Poke Galaxy, the Poke Universe, eat God! Game Freak will turn us all into world eaters, and before long the cosmos will be nothing more but an appetizer for the hungriest among us.
Wow.
I'm so glad someone finally said it.
Dude, I know. Ever since Klefki, I can't make it out of my house with at least, nibbling on my car keys.
My neighbor, he had a nephew who loved Diancie, and now that kid can't be left alone in a jewelry store.
Stop, because my younger sister had the same problem because of Sableye.
Because of the megas, right?
Because of the megas, yes!
So, am I the only one eating my keys?
No, I've literally been eating sand for weeks.
Yeah, to this day, I still can't stop thinking about muck. I usually go out and eat